You have been lying awake, doing the math again. Running the numbers on a life that isn't adding up the way you thought it would by now. You open your calendar and it feels like a countdown to nothing. You scroll past people your age who seem to have the map, the job, the house, the marriage, the certainty, and you close the app before the ache gets any louder. You have asked the question so many times it doesn't even sound like a question anymore. It sounds like a fact you've accepted. Did I miss it? Did I take the wrong turn somewhere and no one told me? You keep waiting for a sign, a door, a voice, something to tell you this isn't all just drifting. I have been in the room every time you asked. I have heard the version of the question you don't say out loud, the one underneath the one you say. And tonight I am not going to give you a sign. I am going to give you something steadier than a sign. Here is the specific shape of what you're carrying. It isn't despair. Despair would almost be simpler. What you have is quieter and more exhausting than that. It's the low hum of maybe I'm on my own here. Maybe the door didn't open because there was no door. Maybe the silence after the prayer was just silence. You've started making backup plans for your backup plans. Not because you're faithless, because you're tired of waiting on a future that won't show itself. You've learned to survive uncertainty by gripping it tighter, controlling what you can control, because nobody handed you the blueprint and you stopped expecting one. And underneath all of it is a fear you rarely say out loud. What if I am just being managed by chance? What if there is no plan? Only whatever I manage to build with my own hands before the time runs out. What if there been pardon? You pardon prince before you stunning. I want to show you something written for exactly this kind of night. This was not written as a poem for a wall. It was written to a people sitting in exile, far from home, with no return date on the calendar. People who had every reason to believe they had been abandoned to circumstance. I spoke to them in that exact condition. I am not reciting this to you as history. I am saying it to you now, the way I said it then. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Let's take this apart together, line by line. For I know the plans I have for you. Notice what comes first. Not you will know, not you will discover. I know. The knowing belongs to me before it ever belongs to you. You have spent your whole life trying to know the plan before you'll trust it, trying to read the ending before you'll walk the middle. But the knowing was never assigned to you. It was always mine to carry. This is not a vague awareness on my part, the way you might be aware of a stranger passing on the street. This is the same knowing I have of the number of hairs on your head, intimate, specific, deliberate. I am not improvising around your life. I am not finding out what happens to you at the same time you do. You do not need to know the plan. You need to know the one who knows it. A gardener knelt in the cold dirt of late autumn, pressing bulbs into the ground one by one. A boy watched from the fence and finally asked why anyone would bury something that looked so plainly dead. The gardener didn't stop working. It isn't dead, she said. It's deciding. Weeks passed. Frost came. The ground gave no sign of anything happening beneath it. The boy stopped asking about the bulbs, assumed she had simply been wrong, or had forgotten, or the cold had won. Then one gray morning in early spring, he saw a single green blade break the surface exactly where her hand had been. I am the gardener kneeling in the cold ground of your life. What looks buried to you is not abandoned. It is deciding. You do not need to see beneath the surface to trust what my hands have already placed there. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Here is the word you have been afraid to believe, not to harm you. You have quietly wondered whether this hard season is punishment, whether the delay, the closed door, the diagnosis, the ending, is me finally giving you what you deserve. I want to correct that thought at the root. The plan was never designed against you. It was never built to break you. This does not mean the road avoids hardship. The very people I spoke this to were still in exile when I said it, still far from home, still waiting. The promise was not the absence of difficulty, it was the direction underneath the difficulty. Every step, even the hard ones, was carrying them somewhere and not nowhere. I am not the author of what wounds you. I am the one redeeming what wounds you into something that carries you forward. A shepherd led his flock toward a narrow pass between two ridges of gray stone. The path grew tighter, colder, the light dimmer with every step, until the youngest sheep in the flock began to bleat and pull back, certain the shepherd had led them into a trap with no way out. The shepherd did not turn around. He did not raise his voice. He simply kept walking ahead of them, staying close enough that they could hear his footsteps on the stone. Then, without warning, the pass opened into a valley thick with grass and running water, more abundant than any pasture behind them. I am the shepherd who does not turn back at the narrow place. What feels like a trap closing around you is the path to something wider than what you left behind. Stay close enough to hear my footsteps. Plans to give you hope and a future. The word here is not the thin hope you're used to, the crossed fingers, maybe it works out kind. This is hope with a fixed point at the end of it, an expected outcome, a destination already secured before you take the first step toward it. You have been living as though your future is undecided, up for grabs, dependent entirely on how well you perform under pressure. But the future was already given to you before you knew to ask for it. This means the waiting you're in right now is not empty time. It is not a delay between nothing and something. It is the road that leads directly to what has already been set aside for you. Your future is not a question I am still working out. It is a place I have already prepared and am walking you toward. A craftsman was halfway through carving a large wooden bowl when his apprentice looked at the rough, uneven shape on the table and asked why he kept working on something so clearly flawed. The craftsman kept his hands moving, shaving thin curls of wood onto the floor. "It isn't flawed," he said. "It's unfinished." The apprentice couldn't see past the current shape to imagine what it might become. The shallow gouges, the uneven rim, the raw grain still exposed. Days later, the apprentice returned to find a smooth, polished bowl catching the afternoon light. Its curves nothing like the rough block he remembered. I am the craftsman still shaving away at the shape of your life. What looks unfinished to you is not a flaw in the plan. It is the plan, mid-motion, on its way to becoming exactly what I intended. There is a posture you have been holding for a long time, and I am inviting you to set it down tonight. It is the posture of trying to see the whole map before you'll take the next step. You have been demanding certainty as the price of your trust, waiting until the plan is visible before you'll believe there is one. I am not asking you to see it. I am asking you to release the grip you've had on needing to see it. Let go of the need to control the outcome. Let go of the exhausting work of building your own backup future out of fear that mine won't arrive in time. What I am inviting you to receive instead is rest. The kind of rest that comes not from knowing what happens next, but from knowing who holds what happens next. This is not resignation. This is not giving up on your life. This is handing the plan back to the one who wrote it before you were old enough to worry about it. The door is open. Walk through it empty-handed. Name the plan you've been building on your own. Write down, specifically, the future you have been trying to engineer out of fear. The backup plan built from anxiety rather than trust. Naming it out loud is the first step to setting it beside mine instead of in place of it. Identify one place where you are demanding an answer today. Find the one area of your life where you have been requiring certainty before you'll move forward, and consciously release the timeline attached to it. You do not need the date, you need the direction. Speak this verse aloud for 7 mornings. Before you check your phone, before the noise of the day starts, say the words, "I know the plans I have for you," aloud in the first person, as if I am saying them directly to you, because I am. You are not a life left to drift. You are not a story I forgot to finish. Before the exile, before the waiting, before the questions that kept you up at night, I already knew the plan, and it was never built to harm you. I see what your circumstances cannot show you. I see the future I have already prepared and am walking you toward, one unglamorous, uncertain day at a time. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where the plan is carrying you. I know the plans I have for you. Trust the one who knows them. Amen.